Championship week continues from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia, MEAC style 2017. It's men's action as the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman University, ranked number 9 as far as the seeds coming in. They take on the Eagles of North Carolina Central University. They are the top seed coming into the tournament. Hello, everyone. Charlie Neal along with my partner. As you look at the banners up here at the Scope Arena, Cy Alexander, the former head coach at North Carolina A&T and South Carolina State. Here's the brackets. How do these teams get here? Well, Bethune-Cookman came up with a big win. They're playing North Carolina Central. They knocked off Delaware State. Of course, North Carolina Central being the top seed, they got to bye, Cy Alexander. And when you look at these two teams coming in and some of the players that we're going to be really taking a very, very hard look at, I'll tell you, it's anybody's ball game, even though Bethune-Cookman comes in as the number 9 seed.
And the North Carolina Central Eagles are coming off a 2-game losing streak toward the end of the season, something that is not making Coach Lavelle Moten very happy. But he does have the player of the year in Patrick Cole.
And when you talk about Patrick Cole, let's look at, first of all, on the other side, Brandon Tabb is the man that we're going to be focusing on as far as Bethune-Cookman is concerned, someone that really concerns Coach Lavelle Moten.
Coming off a 21-point, 9-rebound game in the first round, almost a double-double, very athletic, has uncanny range. He's going to light it up tonight for the Wildcats.
On the other side, our player of the year, Patrick Cole, second in the conference in scoring, league leader in assists. He's a load.
He can do it all, Charlie. Can play 1, 2, or 3. Very much a winner, the leader of the team, the most talented player in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Oh, it should be a good one here. First game of the tournament for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. As we said, Bethune-Cookman, they played last night, and they're back in here playing again today. So back-to-back games for the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman. They beat during the regular season against North Carolina Central. I should say they lost that game. That game down in Durham by 15 points, 78-63.
No rest for the weary, Charlie.
No, it didn't. The win over Delaware State that got them here, 69-62, was their first tournament win since 2013 when they upset Norfolk State in the tournament. So here they are in quarterfinal action right now. Winner goes on to play on Friday. The winner of the Hampton, Maryland Eastern Shore game. That'll be a semifinal matchup here at the Scope.
Wildcats are opening up in some sticky man-to-man. High ball screen for Patrick Cole. He draws the foul.
And let's look at the lineups for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. We're talking about Madison, Rashawn Madison, Dickerson. That's Delvin Dickerson, Graff, Patrick Cole, and Kyle Benton, the junior out of Long Beach, California. The gray uniforms being worn by North Carolina Central, and one score the basket. Strong move inside that time from Delvin Dickerson, the redshirt senior out of Houston, Texas.
Nice back screen that time by Patrick Cole to get Dickerson open. So you see the player of the year is not only a good scorer, but a good screener also.
And the three-point play is complete. 3-0. The number 1 team in terms of the seeds and the top seed coming into this tournament. Coming in, Lavelle Moten is the head coach of the Eagles of North Carolina Central. They come in with an overall record of 22-8, 13-3 in the conference. And this one is going to be North Carolina Central's ball.
And what you see, North Carolina Central, their staple, Charlie, people think it's offense, but it's their man-to-man team defense. They play on the ball, and they play good weak side help. They're always in position. They do a lot of work in shell drill.
When you talk to Coach Lavelle Moten, one of the things he said, the key for him in this game is to defend that three-point line.
Right.
Because Bethune-Cookman can really put it up.
They can let it ride. That time, the Wildcats showed a 1-3-1 zone, and
Patrick Cole takes it home.
Eagles showed a lot of patience. Off to a very good start. As you see, they're sticking with that sticky man-to-man, really overplaying, shadowing Brandon Tabb.
This is Diamante Lewis with the ball in his hands, working against Rashawn Madison down the lane, flips it up, tried a little alley-oop, a reverse layup falls in for Quentin Forrest.
Quentin Forrest had a slow night last night, and he's one of those four-headed monsters that did not get in double figures. Hopefully he can get in double figures today for the Wildcats, sticking with the 1-3-1 zone.
He had 4 points last night, but he also had 11 rebounds.
That's what he does.
Coming up with the ball for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats, Brandon Tabb. He's dangerous when he has the ball in his hands, and Diamante Lewis does a very good job from that point guard spot.
They like to run pace and space, get down the floor, space the floor, shoot threes.
Down the lane, Lewis gets it back out to Forrest. He goes in, and they're going to call a charge.
Great defensive position that time.
There's the coach for the Wildcats, Gravel Craig, 7th year as the head man down in Daytona Beach. His team came into the tournament with a record of 9-21. They were 6-10 against conference opponents.
And he's done a very admirable job. They're sticking now. They've changed back to a 3-2, a conventional zone.
Down the lane goes Dickerson, and he's fouled going to the rack.
Dickerson is off to a good start, got 2 points early on, and this time, and now he got a chance to finish at the free throw line.
Yeah, as you look at Lavelle Moten, we talked about Patrick Cole being the player of the year. As we look at this move by Dickerson, and he is fouled as he went inside by Brandon Tabb. But more importantly, Patrick Cole is the 3rd Eagle to garner player of the year honors. The first was the coach, Lavelle Moten, when they were playing in the CIAA before they transformed their program over to the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. The other one was a young man by the name of Jeremy Ingram. So he's had 3 players of the year on that Central team.
Ingram put up some threes on me. I know that. I don't know about those other 2. I do know that. That was a nice show and go that last time by Delvin Dickerson.
This foul whistled against Patrick Cole. Inbounding the ball is Diamante Lewis. Getting into Tabb. A little man-to-man defense now for North Carolina Central.
And that's what they do, Charlie. They play excellent as a walking call that time.
On Manzi.
On Manzi. He took that little bunny hop, and Terry Moore, longtime MEAC official, was right on the money.
Our officials tonight, Terry Moore, Everett Summers, and Mel Chedham.
Back to the 1-3-1 now, Charlie. Changing defenses almost every time down are the Wildcats from Bethune, trying to throw the Eagles off rhythm. Great block.
Very good block that time by Manzi. Manzi had 2 points and 3 rebounds last night, but fouled out of the ball game as this rebound by Cole, bringing it up the floor, inside, and Dickerson will go to the line once again.
Nice pass ahead that time. Patrick Cole to his buddy Delvin Dickerson. That last 3 by Brandon Tabb. Here's the replay. Nice pitch ahead. He ran the floor very well that time and got a chance for free throws.
Diamante Lewis picks up the personal foul. He was hit when he was fouled, and that's why he's shaking his hand. He was hit on that wrist. Going to the free throw line, Dickerson, who is a 59% free throw shooter. That one rims out. He started every game. As we look at why he was holding his wrist there and shaking his wrist, so he got hit pretty hard by Lewis.
He certainly did.
It was on the left wrist, and he's a right-handed, so that helps.
Right.
5-point ball game right here, right now, 7-2, with North Carolina Central over Bethune-Cookman University.
A little man-to-man, again being shown by the Eagles.
Lewis, the 3-ball, no good that time for Baker. Reggie Baker had a big game as a follow-up inside. Let's see.
Nice follow that time by Omar Manzi. Did they count the basket?
They did count the basket. Yes, they did. And it's a 7-4 ball game.
Nice rebound that time. He would not be denied. Rebounded in the crowd. 1-3-1 zone again being utilized by the Wildcats.
They talked to Coach Lavelle Moten about what is the key as you see Cole inside with the basket. He said his 3 guards must play well. Talking about Graff, you're talking about Patrick Cole, and you know that I mean those 3 people have to play very well for him today. Also Madison.
Deep 3 that time by DeMonte Lewis.
Yeah, there's a timeout on the floor. We have a 5-point ball game. The Eagles of North Carolina Central trying to make it to the semifinals of the 2017 MEAC basketball tournament as championship week continues right here from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. When these 2 teams met earlier this year, a game won by North Carolina Central by 15. Bethune-Cookman shot just 20% from 3-point range, something that they do pretty efficiently throughout the season, normally about 32% from downtown. They were out-rebounded by 11, 44-33, and went to the free throw line just 8 times.
So far tonight, Charlie, 0 for 3 from the 3. That's a bad sign, but Manzi doing the job on the boards.
Inside with the follow-up and the rebound and the putback. And he's going to go to the line trying to complete a 3-point play.
And he is just a freshman, Charlie. He's got a bright future in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Look at that strong ball fake, strong rebound, right to the rim.
And he does complete the 3-point play, and it's a 2-point game. 9-7 here at the Scope in Norfolk. MEAC basketball winner goes on to play in the semifinals on Friday, the winner of the Hampton Maryland Eastern Shore game.
Same offensive set that the Eagles used earlier, the up screen, get the ball, nice pass that time. Cole to Kyle Benton. Finished at the rim with a slam dunk.
Junior out of Long Beach, California, Benton with that basket, averaging 29 minutes a game for Lavelle Moten. Not a great scorer, Benton, only averaging about 9 points a game, but we get tabbed with a 3-ball that time.
That's music to Coach Craig's ears.
Actually, it's only 2.
Well, to see that ball go in the basket for Brandon Tabb, that's important for the Wildcats to get going. They need him on shooting that ball strong.
Down the lane, Dickerson, the tap and the putback. Benton couldn't put it back in. Comes back inside. The Eagles still have it. From the corner, the 3-ball is good for Rashawn Madison, redshirt senior. And playing in front of the hometown crowd, he is from Norfolk, Virginia.
He is one of that 3-headed monster, Charlie, that Coach Moten talks about, Madison, Graft, and Cole.
But at the other end, Reggie Baker, who had a big game in the semifinals or quarterfinals or first round last night, had 20 points in their win.
I think we might have a shootout at the OK Corral tonight, Charlie.
2-point game once again, 14-12. But inside, again, there's Benton.
The Eagles are doing a great job of interior passing. The big guys are cutting. The perimeter guys are being very unselfish and finding them right at the right time.
Reggie Baker gets it across to Lewis. Lewis down the lane, puts it off to the corner. From 3-point range, off the back of the iron, it goes for Farts. But Tabb hits the 3.
And was fouled. But they didn't call it, so he wasn't fouled.
He did. I guess not.
I guess not.
A 1-point ball game here. I thought it was a 3, and they only gave him a 2.
They're sticking right. Let's see what type of defense they're. I think they're in a soft man. It's a big-time steal.
2-point ball game. In the corner, Reggie Baker, the 3, no good.
I tell you what, Charlie, as we talked about last night, these Wildcat players haven't seen a shot that they don't like. They let it ride in transition for sure.
Omer Manzi picked up the foul for the Wildcats. He'll have to go to the sideline Brandon Suggs replaces him.
You bring in a big freshman for another big freshman. Both of these young men, Suggs and Manzi, have great upsides. Zone offense being utilized right now.
Cole spins in the lane. Short. Dickerson to follow.
Delvin Dickerson is off to a great start. He's very offensive minded right now, scoring around the basket. He normally just averages 8 points, and he's got about 6 already.
And he's only scored 11 points the last 2 ball games, so he was way down below his season average the last 2 times this team played.
He's got 7 already.
The finger roll is good for DeJuan Graff.
And he is the guy that Coach Moulton says is the glue. He's the leader of the team on and off the court.
Second team all-conference. Graff, the reverse, doesn't fall for him. Here comes Patrick Cole, player of the year in the MEAC. Into the corner. The 3 ball. It's up. It's good for Rashawn Madison. Timeout. Bethune. 9-point lead, just like that. With 11:32 to go in this contest. And it's been North Carolina Central on a roll. It was close just a moment ago. A 9-2 run. And we'll be back. We're along with Cy Alexander. Charlie Neal courtside here. Look at number 5 there, Delvin Dickerson. 7 points for his team. Redshirt senior out of Houston, Texas. Has started every game for Lavelle Moulton and these Eagles of North Carolina Central. Only 11 points the last 2 games, but he has 7 already in this contest. Came in averaging 8.1 points per game and 4.5 rebounds. Had a season high 23. That came against Long Island University, Brooklyn earlier this season, so he can score.
Playing like a man on a mission, Charlie. Doesn't want to go home.
There's a foul that's going to be on Dickerson, and that will send Altidore, who just came into the lineup for Bethune-Cookman, and Coach Gravel Craig to the free throw line. You look at Lavelle Moulton. This team is preseason poll was picked to finish 4th in the conference, but they finished first for the 3rd time, coming into the tournament as the number 1 seed for the 3rd time.
Coach Moulton is a fine young coach. He runs a lot of different things on offense, but his staple is his man-to-man defense, and he really knows how to get the ball to his scorers.
He was the player of the year in the CIAA his senior year at North Carolina Central. Both free throws made by Jeffrey Altidore, Jr. out of Coral Springs, Florida. Well, maybe he just made 1, according to the score. Only 1.
Wildcats in the wide 3-2 zone. Eagles running a zone set. They like to do a baseline low screen, and they finally get it to him. It was just a little bit late on the pass from Cole.
Battle for the loose ball. Here come the Wildcats. Altidore is into the lineup. He replaces Diamante Lewis at that point guard spot. Reggie Baker.
Got Houston Smith on the floor now, also for the Wildcats.
Shot clock down to 10 seconds now. Altidore with the 3. Off the mark. Rebound, Madison. Turnaround, Cole, good.
I tell you what, Charlie, the Eagles are playing transition offense, pace and space, pushing it at every opportunity, either passing ahead or pushing it with dribble penetration. That last shot by Altidore was not the shot I know that Coach Gravel Craig wanted.
But what a move inside. They're going to call
stepped out of bounds.
The line. Stepped out of bounds, so that's a turnover for Bethune-Cookman. You know, that toe may have slid on the white.
It was close.
It was very close.
That was an eagle eye.
Melchedum was right on top of it, so what a scoop shot that time by Graff.
Again, he's the glue.
Redshirt senior out of Charlotte, North Carolina. one of those junior college transfers. And you talk to Lavelle Moten about this team. You know, he says they're still learning. He never thought they would be as good as they are. He knew they would be solid, but not as good as they were.
And what he told me was the chemistry, the synergy really fell into place. They genuinely like each other, which is important.
It certainly is. He said they're still learning.
Right. The Wildcats now seem to be in a tight overplaying type of man-to-man. Here's the back screen. Step out. Altidore did a great job that time, but he got called with the hook on Patrick Cole.
Substitution coming into the North Carolina Central lineup as we look at this right here. There it is.
I tell you what, Cole had him hooked too.
Yeah, so depending on who gets caught first.
He's the player of the year. That's what that is, okay.
This is a 1-and-1 situation for North Carolina Central. That's 17 fouls on Bethune. Only 3 team fouls against North Carolina Central. When these two teams played earlier this year, North Carolina Central shot 46% from the field. Second shot is no good for Cole, who's a 75% free throw shooter. They shot 33% from three-point range, and they went to the free throw line 17 times and made 12. So they shot pretty good.
Now you see Central has changed their defense, Charlie, for the first time. They come out of the man, and they're in a wide 1-3-1 trap.
Tab shot off the mark. Tab going after the loose ball, saves it, falls over the chairs, and comes back inbounds, and is back into play. And it's good. But it was too little, too late for Tab. And Ron Traps off the bench, the senior out of Lancaster, South Carolina, hits the 3.
Bethune is becoming unhinged a little bit. The defense is ready. Look, they're off to the races. And here's Graham finishing at the rim. Nice pitch ahead. And another quick timeout by Coach Craig.
Yeah, you have to stop this runaway train. It's a 16-point lead, just like that, 33-17, with 8:06 to go here in the first half from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. The Eagles trying to punch their ticket to the semifinals of the 2017 MEAC basketball tournament. You can't tell these kids that this game doesn't mean anything. Look at the hustle by Brandon Tabb, who falls all the way over the chairs, jumps back over again. Looks like Superman trying to get back into play, but it was a little too late as Traps hit the big 3.
Yeah, a little bit too late. Eagles are sticking with this 1-3-1 half-court trap as it's actually throwing the Wildcats out of the offensive rhythm.
Inside, Tab can't get it to go. And here comes Cole. That's why he's the player of the year, but they call and count the basket.
Great move that time by Patrick Cole. Gathered himself, got fouled, took the hit. As you see the replay, he's pushing it, read the defense, Euro step, kissed it off the glass, finished at the rim. Chance for the three-point play the old-fashioned way.
And it's a 36-17 ball game, a 19-point lead. It was a 9-point lead for North Carolina Central about 4 minutes ago. But since that time, they've gone on a 13-3 run.
Sticking with the 1-3-1, Charlie.
7.5 to go in the first half. There's a foul inside. Tab getting the pass, and he is fouled. Picking up the foul is DeJuan Graff. Out of bounds, only the 4th team foul against the Eagles so far tonight.
And you saw Coach Moten teaching Patrick Cole how he wanted him, the angle that he wanted him to utilize in the 1-3-1 defense. Now they switch back to a man-to-man.
Reggie Baker with a 2-pointer.
Well, you might see him go back to that 1-3-1 since Baker hit that shot. Charlie, The Eagles are shooting 65% from the field and 75% from the three. That's why they're leading 36-19.
From the corner, Cole short. But they get the offensive rebound, and it's going to be out of bounds. That was Will Ransom, the senior, wearing number 42, is in the lineup now. Started 15 games for the team. Did not have a great showing the first time these two teams met. Did manage to grab one rebound, and he had one there.
Right, he's another big body. They play the 4 and 5 position by committee, Charlie. They use Benton, Dickerson, Ransom.
Yeah, Ransom's at 6'8", and Benton's at 6'7", and that one falls.
There's the glue.
Yeah. We always have to have glue, right?
And that's it. That's Mr. Graft. Back to the 1-3-1, Charlie.
And you know, sometimes when you look at a game as Tab shoots from the corner, doesn't fall, and the rebound pulled down by Ransom. This Bethune-Cookman team played last night. North Carolina Central has been off. Do you think that has an effect on what's happening?
Well, that's one of the reasons almost every opportunity for the Eagles, they're pushing it. They're pushing it. They're pushing it. They know that the Wildcats had to play a game last night. Their legs might be just a little bit weary, and the Eagles are really pushing it.
(38-19) the score. These two teams met earlier this year. It was a 15-point win by the Eagles of North Carolina Central, who started the season 0-2, won 6 of their next 7 games, lost 2 straight twice, and coming in to this tournament, they're on a 2-game losing streak. But the 3 conference losses that they suffered this year were by a total of 7 points, so they could have very well gone unbeaten this year.
I tell you what, they look a lot better than the last time I saw them against North Carolina A&T. There you go, pushing it again.
They lost that last game of the season against A&T, and Graff picks up the foul and trying to complete the 3-point play.
Patrick Cole, Charlie, is showing his versatility, not only as a scorer, but he is being the facilitator in the offensive transition game, finding DeJuan Graft he missed the free throw, but had a chance for another 3-point play. Every shot is out of transition offense. Early offense is what you call it.
Battle on the floor, the loose ball, ahead, wide open for 2. It's Cole.
They look like the regular season champs right now.
Yeah. They put an exclamation point on it, aren't they?
They are.
Wide, nice pass inside, and Tab just couldn't finish.
Off to the races again, go to Eagles.
Ransom. Cole, back to Ransom.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't be so mean, young fella. Throwing it down with authority. And a teaching moment again by Coach Lavelle Moton. He's got those Eagles soaring.
Yes, watch it once again as they come down the floor and they give it to the big fellow, Mr. Ransom, out of Fort Worth, Texas. You hate to see a team get blown out, but you also enjoy the artistry of what North Carolina Central has been able to do.
Charlie, the thing that's sticking out to me right now, Patrick Cole, 4 assists, 0 turnovers. Eagles 7-2.
And how many points?
And 7 points.
And 7 points.
You know he's going to get his points, but he's sharing the basketball, and that's impressive. Finding the open man there, really pushing the button.
Well, you talk about his assists. When these two teams played earlier this year, he had 13 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds rather, and 11 assists. So therefore, he does distribute the ball. He's not selfish.
Right. That's why he was the player of the year. He's the most talented player in the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference.
Tab, shot just wouldn't fall. Ransom with the rebound.
Off to the races.
Here they come. Graff loses the ball, but is picked up. Cole from the corner, short.
That probably wasn't the shot that Coach Moton wanted.
Reggie Baker now. Down the baseline. The reverse layup won't fall for Forrest. They're going to stay on the Bethune-Cookman end. Substitutions coming in. For both of these squads. This is the fourth time that Lavelle Moton's teams have won 20 games in a season. 2012 and 13, they went 22-9. From 13 to 14, they went 28-6. And 2 years ago, they were 25-8. This year, 22-8, 13-3 in the conference.
That's a great testament to the program building ability of Lavelle Moton, because obviously there were turnovers during those years of different groups of players. Finally, the Wildcats get a basket.
Quentin Forrest comes up with that basket. And you know, you talk about people who have had those 20-win seasons. That's the 19th time in the school's history that they've had 20-win seasons. John McClendon did it 4 times as a coach. And of course, we know he's a Hall of Famer. Nice move inside. Reggie Baker puts it up for 2.
The Wildcats finally got some transition. This is what they want to do, and they've been stymied today because of the great 1-3-1 trap being utilized by the Eagles. High ball, screen and roll.
Ransom.
Nice delivery that time. Screen and roll. Pinpoint delivery. Dunk is the result.
And a 23-point lead for the Eagles. Reggie Baker spinning. Back outside. Apfeldorf. Down the lane, and a foul will whistle and send Quentin Forrest to the free throw line. There's a timeout on the floor. And a 23-point lead for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. They have not been in danger at all in this contest. Looking to get to the semifinals on Friday here as championship week continues. From the Scope in Norfolk, and Big Ransom continues to impress. Bethune-Cookman cheerleaders hoping their team can rally. They're down 23 right now at the Scope in Norfolk, and we have free throws forthcoming for the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman as Quentin Forrest will step to the line. He's a 49% free throw shooter, but had 4 points and 11 rebounds against Delaware State yesterday in that 69-62 victory. When these two teams played earlier this year, Quentin Forrest wound up with 10 points and 5 rebounds.
He's a solid contributor. He's part of that four-headed monster that Coach Craig likes to talk about. Wildcats sticking with a soft 3-2 zone. Eagles running some shot clock, using some hollow action that time, isolating Cole at the top.
Ransom with the rebound on the offensive end. The shot clock is at 5 seconds and bumped. And we're going to have free throws forthcoming for DeJuan Graff. You know, one of the things that Coach Moton told me earlier, he says, you know, Patrick Cole, of course, he's the player of the year, but he's had to step up tonight.
Right.
He's the go-to guy. He said he can't be the. I think Coach Moton put it best when he said to me, I told him, he can't be the man when you want to be the man. You have to be the man when you need to be the man.
Without a question. If you're the man.
If you're the man.
Right. If you're the man. And tonight he is showing that he is the man.
He also said Madison must make some shots also tonight.
And he's 2 for 3 right now from the 3 line.
And from the corner, there's Quentin Forrest.
That last time the Eagles showed some 2-3 zone for the first time, and Wildcats did a good job of picking it apart. Got a nice delivery pass to Quentin Forrest. High ball screen, either way, horns action. Pop Cole out, and he's calling for the ball screen.
5 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Cole measuring back of the iron. It was a good looking shot off his hands. Here's Reggie Baker off the iron, no good. And it's going to stay on Bethune's end. Checking back into the North Carolina Central lineup is Kyle Benton, redshirt junior, as Ransom takes a seat on the bench for the Eagles.
Ransom put in quality minutes.
He certainly did.
Chance for the Wildcats to score 2 in a row for the first time in a long time. Eagles back to man.
Down the lane. That's going to be a blocking foul, but he wasn't shooting. But they're going to call a block. Even though the player kind of went in out of control, I would think. He got bailed out.
Said I think he was inside the.
That's not the point. He passed the ball off.
So they're giving him what is 1 and 1 or 2 shots?
It is 1 and 1. And that's Diamante Lewis at the line. 17 points, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. The first time these two teams met, he had 19 points against Delaware State last night, 7 rebounds and 5 assists.
And he finally got off a goose egg in this half with only 1:48 to go, and he had a great game last night. He's going to need another one tonight.
And the lead is cut to 18. They led by as many as 23 in this game. That is North Carolina Central.
Wildcats showed a little 1-1-3 that time. Great job of penetration. Errant pass. Guys
And
on the floor.
Alternating possession arrow will favor Bethune.
Oh, he got a timeout.
Oh, he got a timeout. I thought it was a hell ball, but they're going to call a timeout. That is a smart move by the Eagles.
Smart play by a senior. I think it was Devon Graft who realized the possession arrow might have been going the other way, and he got the timeout quickly. So now, with 9 seconds left, the Central Eagles have a chance to get a shot off.
Now, this North Carolina Central team, not only the #1 seed coming inside, but they're ranked in the top category, top of 4 categories as far as the conference is concerned. They're ranked 2nd in scoring offense when averaging 74 points a game, 1st in scoring defense, only giving up 64 points a game. They lead the conference in rebounding, averaging 38.5 rebounds a game, and they lead the conference in field goal percentage at 45%.
That's why they were 13-3.
And could have been 16-0.
16-0.
Off the glass, no good. Battle for the loose ball. Here come the Wildcats of Bethune. Alcedort with the ball into the front court to Reggie Baker.
He was doing a good job of getting back in transition.
Nice move by Baker.
Big time Euro step by Reggie Baker.
16-point game now. 1 minute to go before the break. Here at the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. We're part of Championship Week along with Cy Alexander, Charlie Neal, and we're courtside. Hope you're enjoying it. Inside, Benton. Good pass from Graff.
Eagles needed that basket to stop a semi-run by the Wildcats. Nice show of patience on offense that time.
Travel by Diamante Lewis. Shuffled his feet before the pass off to Quentin Forrest.
And that turnover gives the Eagles a chance to maybe get the last shot of the first half.
Well, it's about 5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. Now, we know there's been a big deficit for Coach Gravel Craig and his Bethune-Cookman Wildcats at halftime. They've still got another 20 minutes of basketball and 35 seconds left. You're going into the locker room in 35 seconds. What are you saying to your team if you're in that position, Coach?
What you want to do is have the deficit cut to single digits by the 10-minute mark
of the second
half. That's your goal. And you don't, that way you just play one basket at a time. You're down 18 right now, but you need a stop right here. You don't want a momentum. If you get a stop, that's a momentum builder. If Central scores, that's a momentum builder on the other side.
Right. Well, one of the things, like you said, if you can make a stop here and then maybe set up something and score down the other end.
That would be huge.
And what is now an 18-point ball game, 50-32. Central led by as many as 23 here in the first half.
Look for a high ball screen for Graft. There's the screen. Space the floor.
Long shot, back of the iron. Benton with the rebound. Going back up, it's blocked. Knocked away by Suggs, and no basket. So as they go to the locker room, it's been all North Carolina Central here in the first half of this MEAC basketball tournament action from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia. Even though Central gave up a couple baskets, they were relentless on the offensive side. Back with more halftime activities from the Scope in Norfolk, Virginia in just a moment. 50-32 as we get ready to start the second half along with Cy Alexander. Charlie Neal courtside here. When you look at some of those stats, one of the things that really impressed me was the fact that only 2 turnovers for North Carolina Central in the first half.
As fast-paced as the game was, that's awesome. That's unbelievable, to be honest with you. 2 things stand out. The fact that it's 11 assists, only 2 turnovers for the North Carolina Central Eagles. And on the flip side of that, Bethune-Cookman is only shooting 2 for 13 from the 3 for 15%, and they live by the 3-shot, Charlie.
They certainly do. They came into the game averaging 32% from downtown. So let's see what Gravel Craig was able to motivate his team with at halftime and see if it works here in the second half. On the other side, Lavelle Moten has to guard his team or make sure his team is guarded, not to be too confident and let this get away from them.
Do not come out flat. First 5 to 6 minutes is very, very important, in particularly for the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats.
You know, there's an opening right down the street in an ACC school, and North Carolina State has a job opening, and Lavelle Moten's name has come up as a possible candidate for that job. As a quick basket inside right away by Manzi gives Bethune-Cookman the first basket of the second half.
Nice high ball screen that time by the Wildcats.
Your thoughts on that possibility?
I think Lavelle should get an opportunity to be considered for that job. He's done an admirable job. Plus, Charlie, he beat North Carolina State several years ago.
And he beat Missouri this year.
Right.
So they've had some big wins. You know, it's interesting because we talk about the fact that 2 years ago they were in the tournament. They were #1 seed again. They got upset by Delaware State in the tournament. Wound up having to go to the NIT where they lost to Miami. I believe that was 75-71 or something like that was the final score there. But that loss in the tournament when they lost to Bethune here snapped a 9-game winning streak for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. So Coach Moten's very well aware of what can happen. Just because you're the top seed doesn't mean anything. Is we get the 3 ball from the corner from Rashawn Madison.
Great ball movement that time versus the 2-3 zone that was utilized by the Wildcats. Both teams get early baskets out of the gate in the second half. Eagles showing man-to-man. Bethune is running what they call a horn set where you have 2 potential screeners. You got the big fella open in the post. They just didn't give it to him.
Reggie Baker had the ball knocked away from him. Here's Patrick Cole. Scored a basket. And Diamante Lewis, that was very close to a travel.
And I tell you what, Charlie, we used to have a rule when I was coaching. We called it the no layup rule. And right here, if you're going to foul the guy, foul him.
Yeah, he actually fouled him. But
don't let him get it up. And then now you get a 3-point play, and that's back up to.
But they didn't call it a shooting foul, so.
Okay.
But it was a foul. But they did not call it in the act of shooting. But they still hit the 3.
Right.
Reggie Baker spins, puts it up. He's fouled.
Bethune-Cookman has got to show discipline on both ends of the court. They've got to stay together right now. They've got to have leadership from people like Brandon Tabb and Reggie Baker, Diamante Lewis. These guys have got to stay focused one play at a time, try to get the lead down in the single digits by the 10-minute mark. That should be their goal.
Reggie Baker at the free throw line. He had 20 points against Delaware State in first round action. He has 9 points so far tonight, and make it 10 for him. So Reggie Baker, the senior out of Avon Park, Florida.
The person that they're not getting the performance they need from tonight, to be quite honest with you, is Brandon Tabbs. He's got to get it going. He only has 5 points.
He had 21 points against Delaware State. He only had 8 points when those two teams met earlier this year. So maybe it's something in the water that North Carolina Central is giving him.
I tell you, it's working. Central utilized that back screen again, dive play. Kyle Benton just missed the layup. Good screen set by Patrick Cole, though.
Cole with the rebound and a missed shot.
Off
Central
to the races.
Running. And they're going to call Reggie Baker with a trip.
Those kind of passes in transition, Charlie, you watch this, he bounces it. It's better for a big guy if you throw it up. It's easier for him to step up and hold his hands. It's almost like being a wide receiver versus throwing it off the bounce and he's got to reach down. That makes it very difficult. Fortunately for the Eagles, they got a lucky kick ball. Side ball screen, second screen.
Graff. Nice pass inside, and Benton finishes it.
Poor weak side rotation by the Bethune-Cookman Wildcats. That play took forever to develop, and he was still wide open.
Ball saved in bounds. Feed inside, and Tabb finishes it. Brandon Tabb.
For Bethune to get back in this game, Charlie, they've got to do a much better job defensively. They've got to give the Eagles one shot and one shot only. And they've got to have everybody communicate.
And hope the shot doesn't go in.
Right.
And then go down the other end and score yourself. Right. You can't trade baskets.
No, not being down 20. That math just don't work. You'll still be down 20.
The turnaround jumper is good. And that is Delvin Dickerson.
Found a soft spot in the zone that time, right around the MEAC logo, right in the lane. Nice little 10-foot jump shot by Dickerson.
Pull back jumper, good for Diamante Lewis.
That's his 5th point of the night. Bethune seems a little bit confused as to what type of defense they're in.
I know, he was looking over at Coach Craig on the sideline. His Cole shot no good, but the follow-up inside was good for Benton. Benton right there on the glass.
Poor block out that time. They better do a better job of communicating and everyone being on the same page right now for the Wildcats.
A 22-point lead now for North Carolina Central. As you said, there's a turnover. Wide open. Showtime. Delvin Dickerson, 24-point lead.
Not the start that the Wildcats wanted, Charlie.
This is their biggest lead of the night. And a foul is going to be whistled, and that'll send Diamante Lewis to the free throw line.
You can see the body language of the Wildcats. It's not where you want it to be as a coach.
And Coach Lavelle Moten not happy with some of the play of some of his players. He's giving them, as they call it, down the country.
Yeah,
as
give them down the country.
As they come to the sideline. A 24-point advantage for the #1 seed. Back in a moment. Sander, the former North Carolina A&T and South Carolina State coach and Tennessee State coach and former assistant at Howard University coach.
Been around.
Charlie Neal here. We're courtside in what has been a all North Carolina Central evening as Diamante Lewis is at the free throw line for Bethune-Cookman, the Wildcats, who got here by a win over Delaware State last night. Their first tournament win since 2013 when they upset Norfolk State in overtime in the quarterfinals before losing to Morgan in the semifinals. And they're in danger of being eliminated here for North Carolina Central with the big lead. And the winner of this particular game goes on to play in the semifinals on Friday against the UMES. Hampton University winner is Patrick Cole, the player of the year, hits the two-pointer.
Nice pull-up jump shot that time by Patrick Cole. A lot of patience being utilized by the Eagles.
Tab could not control the rebound and loses it out of bounds.
And the Eagles, Charlie, have shown no sign of being rusty. Again, they look like the regular season champs that went on a 13-game winning streak throughout the season tonight. High ball screen, pin down, weak side, curl.
Norfolk State will play the next game here tonight. They will go up against South Carolina State, the Bulldogs. There's Tab. He misses it. Boy, he's just off, isn't he?
He is really, really off, and they need him, Charlie. You're talking about a young man that averages 18 points, and right now he has a total of 7. Nice finish at the rim that time by Patrick Cole.
And the lead is the biggest of the night, 27 for North Carolina Central, and it's all North Carolina Central. One and done for the Wildcats of Bethune-Cookman for the most part. Ahead to Tab. Nice follow and blocked from behind, but Lewis is there for the follow.
Johnny on the spot that time for Diamante Lewis, but great block by Kyle Benton. Eagles slowing the pace a little bit and going to utilize some shot clock. With 25-point lead, probably won't shoot for about 12 seconds. He'll get a high ball screen at some point, a 1-4 set versus the 2-3 zone.
It was a foul, hand check on the outside. That's another foul as we look at points in the paint. And one of the things that Lavelle Moten was talking about to me earlier was the fact that Bethune does a very good job of putting the ball down low and getting points in the paint. And they've done a good job of defending that this evening.
Right now, 42 to 20 points in the paint, obviously in favor of the Eagles. Nice set that time. It was a double high screen penetration and look for the lob by the Eagles.
Turnover.
Unbelievable, Charlie.
And didn't see the ball coming. That was Madison. Went off of his heel on the pass. He was already down the floor planning his next strategy as Houston Smith is in the lineup for Bethune-Cookman. Altidore also in there, has the ball in his hands, driving around the right side, and he is fouled.
Did they call it shooting? Yes. 2 shots.
So the winner of this game goes on to play in the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hampton winner. They play tomorrow. That game in the semifinals would be played here on Friday. This year, during the regular season, North Carolina Central beat Maryland Eastern Shore twice, 69-52 and 82-69, while they also beat Hampton at Hampton 64-51. So they beat both teams throughout the season.
My coaching philosophy, and I think I shared this with you early on, is if you can beat a team 3 times during the course of the season, you're better than that team in that particular year. And right now, if you win today, you get tomorrow off to get ready for the semifinal action on Friday.
So the best position to be in is playing on Wednesday, isn't it?
Exactly.
Be number 1 or 2 seed.
In
Norfolk State's the other one.
Exactly. In the years that I've been fortunate enough to win this tournament, we always played on Wednesday, got lucky and won on Wednesday, and were able to play on Friday, get that day off on Thursday. I thought that was a big advantage to do that.
And you only have to play 2 games.
Exactly, and you get that day's rest before you get ready to play the 2 games. And they came out with no jitters. They came out on a mission, Charlie.
Shot clock down to 10 seconds.
71-45, 11:42 to go.
In and out the shot that time for Quentin Forrest. Behind the back, over in the corner. The 3-ball measured, and it's good. Coming up with that one is Ron Trapp, senior out of Lancaster, South Carolina. Did not score against Bethune-Cookman.
And he's 3 for 3 tonight,
earlier
Charlie.
this year, yeah. Had 18 points against Coppin as a season high earlier this season. 74-45. We got a player control foul.
The Wildcats are becoming unhinged right now.
29-point lead for the Central Eagles, trying to punch their ticket to the next round. The winner of the whole tournament goes to the NCAA tournament. 45 our score, 29-point lead for the Eagles of North Carolina Central side. When you look at, of course, the winner of this tournament goes to the big dance. Who do you think was the first team to punch their ticket this year in the nation?
It was Jacksonville State of the Ohio Valley.
You know about
exactly.
Them. Yeah, and they were not picked to win it. They were the first team to punch the ticket. They finished the season. I mean, they surprised a lot of people. I think they had a 20-14 overall record, and they weren't picked to do anything this year, were they?
Ray Harper, former coach, Division II coach at Kentucky Wesleyan, got a charge right. No, we got a block, don't we? But Ray Harper, first year at Jacksonville State, done a tremendous job wherever he's gone. Now taking the Jacksonville State University team to the big dance.
They finished 9-7 in the OVC. How tough is that conference?
It is very comparable to the Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference. Having coached in both leagues, you've got very good teams at the top and just average teams at the bottom. Belmont is one of the better teams in that league on a consistent basis. Belmont and Murray State. I was blessed to have beaten both of them during my time at TSU, and they've also beat me pretty good too.
What goes around comes around.
No question, no question. And I want to say congrats out to Dave Luce, who was the former head coach at Austin Peay. He's battling the cancer right now. He just retired from Austin Peay, longtime legendary coach at Austin Peay.
You know, one of the things you said in the first half was Bethune had to get this game in single digits by the midway point of the second half. Instead of getting it in single digits, they almost got it in triple digits.
See, he's trying that new math. I need to talk to him. He's got it reversed. He said, we can be down by 30 with 10 minutes to go. Now we got a shot. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to be down by 10.
It was 18-point halftime lead, and now it's a 29-point lead.
And he just got called for traveling. They're coming unhinged. And, you know, when I was coaching, Charlie, you know, you had the coaches stand up, and you're coaching. At about the 8-minute mark of this kind of game, I just sit down, you know, and say, okay, let's run this thing on out.
Yeah, not much you can do, is it? 9:45 the time remaining in this contest.
Perfectly executed play from the back screen standpoint. Poor execution as far as the lob, as far as the pass was concerned. He was wide open. And Charlie, you said something to me 2 nights ago. You said sometimes you get the bad, sometimes the bad gets you.
And this is a bear night, isn't it?
It was a bad night.
You know, there's a great story about North Carolina Central. The fact that back in 1944, that was when it was a time of heated racial segregation, that the men's basketball team from North Carolina Central competed against a squad from Duke University.
Exactly.
You know that story?
The secret game.
It was a secret game, and due to the illegal nature of the contest, you know, the participants were sworn to secrecy. They couldn't tell anybody what was going on. The gym doors were locked. Duke players came over to North Carolina Central's campus and played that game.
Right. I have the book. It's called The Secret Game.
Eagles won that game,
right,
88-44. John McClendon was coaching the one team, and it was a banner year for Central in basketball that year, 1944. They'd lost only one game all season long, and John McClendon at that time was about 28 years old, and you know, he's been inducted into the Hall of Fame once. He's getting ready to get inducted once again.
I tell you what, there was a one of the big honors of my life when I got a chance to spend time with Coach McClendon. He came to several of my practices when I was the head coach at Tennessee State University, and he sat down and we talked basketball and we talked life more as much as anything. Great honor to meet him.
Well, he was a great person. I had a chance to travel over to Europe with him with a select basketball team.
Oh, okay.
We went to Paris. We went to Paris, France, and then we went around and we took this team to different cities in France. We spent about 10 days over there and just had a great time with him and the group of young men that we took over there to play some of the teams in Europe.
Well, he was well respected, and you know, Dean Smith, and I respect the late Dean Smith as one of the great basketball coaches growing up in North Carolina. I used to watch his coach's show every Sunday. And, you know, he got a lot of credit for introducing the four corners, but he actually got it from Coach John McClendon, if I'm correct in what I'm saying, and I think I am, based on what my knowledge of what I've been reading. Right now, the Eagles are just running the clock down, and we got a wet spot on the floor here, Charlie. I don't want anybody to get slipped.
Well, what happened was the player with the ball, that's Graff, slipped when he was coming across, dribbling the ball. And Mel Chelham, the referee, happened to see what was going on, and he stopped play just for everybody's safety. I remember doing a game some years ago in January in New Orleans at Dillard University. They have a natatorium within their facility, athletic facility, and it became very warm that day on the outside, as Louisiana has a tendency to get in the 70s, and the floor was so slippery. It was like an ice skating rink, but it was water. It was water that had settled on the floor, that the players and the referees were falling down, going up and down the floor to the point where they just canceled the game.
Wow, wow. That was a good bit of officiating by Mel, because you don't want to see anybody get hurt on something that could be prevented. So a nice bit of officiating as you have a 26-point lead by the Eagles with 8:47 to go, and high ball screen action. Eagles doing a great job of running the offense right now.
And Cole went to the rack, and he'll go to the line. Patrick Cole, the player of the year out of Newark, New Jersey. He had 14 points, 12 rebounds. He had a triple-double this year and 10 assists against Jackson State earlier this season.
One of the things that, in talking with Coach Moten about Mr. Cole, he said, Coach, he is my most talented player, but because he has been to 3 schools in 4 years, and he really has never, he's kind of a work in progress as you talk about being a winner. And he's realizing now that it's not about me, but it's about we, and he's having so much fun this year. You know, being the player of the year, I'm sure, was gratifying, but the fact that the Eagles won the league is probably even more, and got a chance to take this thing all the way to the NCAA tournament.
And he came here from Siena College to North Carolina Central. Like you said, he's been around the horn.
He actually started for Frank Mitchell at Coppin.
Coppin State, yeah.
Out of you know, that's one of Frank's fertile recruiting grounds, was the New Jersey area. So
what was that, 13 years ago? How long? Hasn't he used up his eligibility?
You know, I wasn't going to say nothing to Moten about that.
Well,
but
you said when you said Frank Mitchell. Frank hasn't coached in a while.
He's been around, I tell you that. Mr. Graff from Charlotte, North Carolina.
We're going to check his birth certificate. He might be 52 years old.
I know.
A 30-point lead once again for North Carolina Central, 80-50, with under 8:10 to go, and a foul is called.
Nice high ball screen and roll that time. And you got Rodney Ross at the line. And he's trying to get off the donuts. It's 0 for 1 now.
makes
0 for 2. Still on the donuts.
none. 8 minutes to go in this one, and it's been Central all the way. They led by 18 at the half, 50-32. Have increased the lead by 30 here in the second half. And they will go on to play the winner of the Maryland Eastern Shore Hampton game. And now it's a 32-point lead.
I tell you what, they look sharp tonight. They've done everything correctly, shooting 57% from the field, 47% from the three, 73% from the free throw line.
And there's a three-pointer for Asu Salam for Bethune-Cookman.
Eagles using shot clock. They won't even try to score until it gets around the 12-second mark. Run their famous weave. Oh, turnover.
And there's a three ball. Again, Salam comes off the bench. Where was he earlier?
I know where he should have been.
So now a timeout call with 6:47 to go. And Coach Moten, his team, trying to not let this one slip away, especially with Salam coming off the bench and hitting back-to-back threes.
Right.
82-56 is our score here from the Scope in Norfolk. The gentleman on the right is here because Norfolk State is about to play South Carolina State. Now, the lady on the left, which is probably his wife, is a Hampton grad. You notice it's the family thing. And Hampton plays tomorrow, so she's coming in support of her husband tonight. Hopefully he comes to support her tomorrow.
Right, and they will be at odds if it gets to the championship game.
And that's the way it is with families in these conferences. I went to Hampton, my spouse went to Norfolk or whatever, and
there you have it.
There you go. 82-56 is our score right here. And of course, as we said, coming up later tonight, Norfolk State and South Carolina State right here as championship week continues. Bethune-Cookman just didn't have an answer so far tonight for this Eagle team who was soaring high. And they soared from the opening tip. And we're going to step aside. We'll be back with more from the Scope in Norfolk in just a moment. If this score holds up with the Eagles leading 82-56, Lavelle Moten will be 7-4. As you look at Bobby Collins, Maryland Eastern Shore, they play Hampton tomorrow. He's out scouting because if he wins against Hampton, he may meet one of these teams in the championship.
I tell you what, he's done a great job with the University of Maryland Eastern Shore Hawks, and like you said, he's scouting. There's a deep shot again by Salam, but it was an air ball this time.
Moten trying to go 7-4 in the tournament as a coach. Last year, you know, talking about turning a program around, they only won 12 games all season long. They were 7-9 in the conference, 7th place. And what a difference a year makes as Madison hits the three ball.
That was great execution that time. You had a high ball screen, then you had a weak side pin down and throw it back on the weak side away from the action. And Madison came off, great shot preparation, caught it in rhythm, knocked a nice looking three-point shot down.
Again, that one doesn't fall for Salam. Came off the bench and hit 2 back-to-back threes, but has missed the last 2 attempts he's taken.
I think Coach Moten did a really good job in calling that quick timeout after Salam hit 2 threes in a row because he saw his team getting complacent. Eagles again using a lot of shot clock, won't even start to play until about 10 seconds. Here we go. High ball screen and roll.
This is Wiggins down the lane, spins, gets it back out. The three ball for Madison, off the mark. And the follow, Benton couldn't get it to go down.
A whole new 30 seconds utilizing shot clock.
Under 5 minutes to go.
They won't start anything, Charlie, until about the 10 to 12 second mark. Double high screen.
Cole bumped, puts it up, and Altidore draws the foul.
They're getting any and everything that they want on the offensive end, and it's been like that the entire game. And as you look at the stat line, one of the big disappointments for the Wildcats have to be Brandon Tabb. So far tonight, Charlie, he's 3 for 12 and only delivered on 1 for 6 from the 3 line, giving him 7 points. Now, he has rebounded the ball. He's got 7 rebounds, but they needed his offensive productivity.
He was their leading scorer coming into the tournament, 18 points a game. Had 21 points in their first round game when they beat Delaware State. He also had 9 rebounds to go with those 21 points. So production not there for Mr. Brandon Tabb, which is a concern of your coach Moten coming in, because Tabb is capable of being very dangerous.
Without a question, we saw that. Good defense being shown by man-to-man. Good block, big-time block that time by Delvin Dickerson.
Will Ransom in the lineup right now for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. Look at that block there. Dickerson going up high.
Don't bring that weak stuff in here, young fella. And for his efforts.
Here's Brandon Tabb sitting on the bench. Has to be a disappointing night for him, but he's back. He's from Hampton, Virginia. He's a local kid. Went to Kecoughtan High School here. Started his college career at Central Florida, and he's just a junior, so he'll be back next year. So we're getting some bench players coming in for North Carolina Central. John Guerra just checked in off the bench. And this is a young man, probably sees a lot of playing time.
Yeah, right.
But with 4:20 to go, Coach Moten decides to bring in some other people. Let them play.
He's put up the white flag and letting Coach Craig know you can put your subs in now, because I'm putting my guys in.
Guerra has played in 9 games this year. Started none, averaged just about 1.7 minutes per contest. And it's going to stay on Bethune's end of the floor.
I tell you what, we're looking at a 32-point deficit right now. And this place is filling up, Charlie, with a lot of green and gold.
A lot of Spartan fans coming down to see their team. There's a 3-ball there. Salam once again. He's hit 3 threes in this game, all off the bench. That's where he got his 9 points.
And one of the things that in talking with Coach Craig is the Wildcats have had to play all season, Charlie, without Jordan Potts.
Yes, they did.
He was their leading scorer from a year ago, a young man who played at the University of North Carolina, Greensboro. But he broke his foot during the summer, and it never really healed. So they're hoping to get they've applied for a waiver of medical red shirt to get another year.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Diamante Lewis had to take up the slack. 88-59 the score, with North Carolina Central leading Bethune-Cookman.
And I know Coach Craig is very disappointed in the performance that his young men put on today. And, you know, you got to live to fight another day. But in tournament play, you don't get another day. It's survive and advance. And now you just worry about where you're going next week on the recruiting trail. And that'll be the case, Charlie, for every team in this tournament except the winner. And you may get, if for some reason the Eagles don't win the tournament, they'll be headed to the NIT, and then you may get a possible 1 or 2 teams getting a bid to the CTI tournament like they did last year.
You were talking about Jordan Potts and that broken foot that he suffered, you know, earlier this year. And one of the things, Diamante Lewis had to step up big and learn that point guard spot that Jordan Potts was so able to handle.
Right, and you know, it's been a different look for the Wildcats. But Diamante Lewis and, as the coach likes to call him, that four-headed monster, Reggie Baker, Quentin Forrest, and Brandon Tabb, they all did an admirable job for the Wildcats this year.
So Guerra is going to the free throw line. He's 3 for 4 this season. Make it 4 for 5.
Looks like he's got a nice stroke. He's right from the near the Durham area, Cary, North Carolina. And I know this is a big moment for John. Step up to the line and knock a second one down. The fans just gave him a nice applause, the Eagles fans that are here.
The lead is 30 once again with under 3 minutes to go. Winner plays on Friday in the semifinals against the winner of tomorrow night's game between Maryland Eastern Shore and Hampton, as championship week continues from here in Norfolk, Virginia. And we're going to get a charge or a block. Restricted area. Right.
He was inside the circle. C.J. Wiggins taking the ball to the rack, and C.J. is
sophomore out of Richmond.
Right. He's got a chance to get on the
scoreboard.
On the scoreboard. He's 0 for 0 across the board, but he's played well during his career at North Carolina Central.
CJ, he's just a sophomore.
Right. And in talking with Coach Moulton, they feel like, you know, he's the heir apparent to the point guard position. They signed a very good player out of Greensboro. Reggie Perkins played for the #1 high school team in the state of North Carolina. So Reggie will be coming into the Eagles program next year. Had several offers, but had liked his campus visit, and so he'll be headed from Greensboro to Durham next year as a potential point guard for the Eagles.
Like these kids coming off the bench and hitting their free throws.
Right.
You know, Wiggins has been to the free throw line a couple times this year, about 21, and he made both of those, as did Guerra the last time down. Here's Salam with another 3 ball. That board cleared that time by Michael Wolf.
He shot that from 2 steps beyond the NBA 3, Charles.
Here's CJ between the legs. Little fancy shake and bake. Has it blocked. Don't come in here with that, young
weak
fella.
Stuff.
Yeah, Houston Smith said, don't come in here with that. Guerra foul, and Guerrera's going to the line as he is fouled that time as he went inside, and picking up the foul was Rodney Ross.
This is money time for Guerrera. Nice ball fake. Utilized the reverse layup, offhand, created the foul. He's showing Coach Moulton that I need to be getting some quality minutes.
He missed one. That just doesn't happen for him.
Going through his routine, deep breath, one bounce.
Second one's good.
Looked really good.
He has 3 points.
Eagles now showing a 2-3 zone to finish this game out.
Under 2 minutes rather to go. Salam cross court off the hands of Danny Harris, freshman out of Fort Lauderdale. Couldn't handle it.
It certainly has not been the Wildcats' day. Utilizing the shot clock. They won't even try to do anything before 11 to 12 seconds. Ten seconds on the shot clock.
Wiggins down the lane. CJ.
That's efficient and effective offense. Shot it with 4 seconds left to go on the shot clock.
Central had 2 games in which they scored over 30. I should say 1 over 30 points. That was back on December 28th. 88-54 victory and a 101-66 victory. Back-to-back games, they outscored their opponents 189 to 112.
Wow. Great charge taking that last time. by Will Ransom, and he's done a very admirable job off the bench tonight. He's got 6 rebounds, just took a charge, 2 for 2 from the field.
Travel. They were rooting for the bench. You look at the bench over there, they root for these young guys to come in here. There's Myers McAllister. He's a junior, red shirt out of Hillside High in Durham, just 6 games this season, and he was trying to get something going, and he traveled en route to.
He's got happy feet, Charlie. He got happy feet.
Yeah.
I got the ball. I got a chance to score.
He ain't used to playing, so
right.
he was taking the bus.
He was happy, man. I got to get this shot up. Coach ran a play for me. Are you kidding me? I'm ready to rock and roll.
20-second difference between the game and shot clock. Shot clock down to 11 seconds now for Bethune-Cookman and the Wildcats. Lavelle Moten and Salam was trying to get into that 3-point range. Lavelle Moten goes 7 and 4 in the tournament. Gravel Craig's record in the tournament goes to 6 and 6, right at 500. They won't even take a shot, knowing Lavelle Moten. He won't allow them to shoot anymore. So that's going to wind up this first round matchup for North Carolina Central. And Bethune-Cookman, they fought the good fight on yesterday, but did not have enough left in the tank to counter what North Carolina Central and the Eagles were bringing to the table today. So the final score, 95-60, a 35-point victory for North Carolina Central, the #1 seed in the tournament. Brandon Tabb, one of his few points that he was able to put down tonight for North Carolina Central. But at the other end, you had big Will Ransom coming up big, as was the player of the year you saw sitting on the bench there in Patrick Cole. So a big win for the Eagles of North Carolina Central. They move on to the semifinal action on Friday here as championship week continues at the Scope. For Cy Alexander and the entire crew here in Norfolk, Virginia, this is Charlie Neal saying so long.